Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC fan reaction show. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov, sitting here very relieved. Finally can breathe easy because Ipswich Town did come through. We held on to the second lead of the game and won 2-1 this afternoon over Peterborough. This is your chance to have your say. I want to speak less and listen more on this part of the show, so please do get involved. Live chat, live link. I can see somebody's kindly clicked the link already. Thank you ever so much, Stephen. We'll get you on as soon as we can. And to have your say, it is your football club, one community, one Ipswich Town. It's a fan platform for fans, by fans. Link is in that chat. Before we go any further, here is your league table, ladies and gentlemen. Following today's game, obviously Plymouth and Wednesday are yet to play. They will play at 3 p.m. today. Plymouth play Cambridge and Wednesday play somebody in League One. That I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt. But that is your League One table. Town currently sitting first, played 21, 45 points. Plymouth in second, 2 points back. Wednesday in third on 41. So a little bit better reading this afternoon. Let's get a few comments and I'll bring Curtis back to hear his thoughts. We've got loads of chat about the live results coming in. I'd absolutely love to see that. Harps, get in. Don't get me started on the ref. I will write that one down, Harps, and we'll make sure we touch on the referee. James Warren Elmer, one of our YouTube members, big up James, got nervous when they had a corner in the last minute. Didn't we all, James? Good Lord. Gino and Breathe, speaking for us all. Rob Holmes, get in. Put some pressure on Plymouth. And Wednesday now at 3 p.m. Lee C, get in there. And Bolton got beat. What a great Saturday. Yes. Welcome in, Ben. Love the result. Max Fax speaks for us all. What a ride it is being a Town fan, Curtis Yates. It is a ride and a half.
Just a little bit. It's a bit squeaky bum time at the end there, wasn't it? It was a bit squeaky bum.
It was a little bit, yes. Let's be honest. Yeah. It was a little bit stressful. We're not going to lie, and I could feel that reverberating around the stadium as well. Everybody was nervous. Everybody was apprehensive. But they saw it. They saw it through. They took the lead, surrendered the lead, and then took the lead again. Great character, some would say, Kurt.
Oh yeah. I mean, I suppose some of the squeaky bum comes from last week a bit. I think he kind of followed on from that. But to be fair, I thought I wasn't really nervous throughout that game. To be fair, there was a few moments where I thought we could have been a bit cleaner on our play, but I wasn't really nervous. I kind of always assumed that result was coming. We just needed to keep chipping away at it. And obviously, in those sorts of games, unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out for you. But apart from the end, then I wasn't really that nervous, surprisingly. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with that. I think we did our best. And yeah, 3 points it is.
Good man, absolutely. We did our best. 3 points it was. I've got the players we spoke about in the pre-game show that we'll have coming up. We've got Mike Baker, a great performance, some good football player played dessert. That free kick from Clark Harris, just to touch on Posh for a second. They weren't the greatest of sides. You know, you can see they're in a real funk and there's some issues there that we spoke about pre-game. We spoke about on Wednesday in terms of, you know, the owner coming out and saying, etc., etc. But, you know, then trying to give him a rocket up the backside. But that Johnson Clark Harris free kick, even took Lee Evans by surprise. It was a great strike and hit the bar with it.
See, I thought when he first hit it, I actually thought Walton got a hand just under it.
Yeah, I thought the same, to be honest with you. I did. But
I thought he got a hand under it, and then obviously as it slowed down, I can't quite still work out whether he's got a little bit of a hand to it and it's gone up off the bar. But yeah, I mean, from that far out, I think it took everyone by surprise. And so again, it's more difficult because the way the sun was in that first half, you could see it beaming into the eyes. So it's an even more difficult free kick to try and deal with. So yeah, no, that's as close as they got all game though, realistically. So
it was really outside the actual goal itself. Rob Holmes, big with all the injuries, another game closer to the window. Listening to the posh commentators, they were disappointed as they thought ITFC weren't at their best. I would agree. And they could have got something from the game, but created little. Norman Greenwood, Caden Jackson worked so hard today. Hopefully, some of his critics will give him a break. Let's bring one of those critics in. Mike, you're shaking your head. You've got man flu, and you just watched Caden Jackson for 60-odd minutes. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, not great, I'll be honest with you. Bit of man flu, colded up, blocked nose, bit of a chesty cough and all that rubbish. Yeah, so apart from that, I'm all right.
how did you see Caden? Obviously, Norman was impressed. I'll say impressed. He didn't say that, but his comment again was work so hard. Hopefully, some of his critics will give him a break for a few weeks. You're obviously one of those more outspoken critics. How you feeling?
Look, okay. Let's break this down into two halves. First half, it was like playing with 10 men. He was absolute. He was a donkey. He really was. Headless chicken, headless Joe Jackson, as I call him. Offered nothing. Nothing. He was, it was just nothing coming from him. And then second half, he came on, and it was like, who's this player? Because for 45 minutes, he did absolutely nothing. Come on the second half, it was like someone had given him a kick up the arse. For 20 minutes, until he got subbed off for, he was brilliant in that second half. And I'm not Caden Jackson's greatest fan, but the first 45, he was dog shit. Second half, sorry, I know we're below the waterline, aren't we? He was poor in that first half. Second half, different player, and it was nice to see. I just think, where is this? He was proper. I mean, you could tell he was burnt out in that second half because he was sat there, getting cramp, wasn't he? He pulled up with a bit of cramp.
We had a conversation on social media through the game, Mike, and it was a response to Mark Dowling, who obviously been on the platform, watches the show. Has Jackson had any chances? And I asked honestly, and I'll ask you, he didn't have many chances, but isn't that more a creative issue? Like, how many chances did we create for the strikers today, Mike? Really, to say, oh, he played awfully bad. I mean, his running stats are always really high, always. You expect.
But, I mean, no disrespect. I've said this before. If we want running stats, then we might as well sign Usain Bolt.
They love that in modern
even
football.
Even at how old are Usain Bolt now? Even age of 37, he'd still run faster than Jackson.
Yeah, but they love that, don't they? I mean, look at Man United when they got beat by Brentford. One of the bigger thing they took out of the game was how much they didn't run compared to the opposition.
There's
score more, but
running and actually doing something when you are running. In that first half, he was running for the sake of it, and there was not a lot happening. In the second half, that was like I said, he was a different player. Come on, and he wasn't chasing shadows. He was chasing the ball. In the first half, he was chasing shadows. Second half, he was chasing the ball. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to give Jackson some credit, but I still say this: why is he playing as an out and out striker? Out and out striker.
Lack of options. Really. Got Lazapo and had me.
Look, Jackson plays better, and I've said this so many times now. Right, Jackson plays better in that in that wide left position, or maybe wide right type thing. In the front three, behind or the front. So we say they're not.
Sure.
The three number 10s type thing. He plays better just behind. That's where his best games have come from. And today, like I said, I mean, if you could argue where Chaplin wants to score his goals is where Jackson should be.
Maybe. Well, no, because they're playing different positions.
Had them chances, would he have put them away? I'd have laid my business on the line.
Well, no.
I was that confident. But look, I'm not gonna hammer him too much, because in the second half, he was a different player. Come on for 20? He was on for 25 minutes in that second half, and it was. I'm not going to chase shadows. I'm not going to be a headless Joe Jackson. I'm going to press the ball rather than press the players.
All right, moving it on. It's Mike D. Has Steve Stone come out of retirement for England tonight?
Oh, it's a classic shirt. I love this shirt.
It's a great shirt. Yeah, it is a great shirt.
It's one of my favourites. I don't like the new one, if I'm honest.
Brian says you should be the manager. Only two. Come on, let's hit the like button, people. There's many people watching. Hit that like button on Facebook. The thumbs up on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a single penny. Super chats are read out though. If you do want to part with some hard-earned cash today, got to pay for the heating bill. To be fair, Mike, who's your player of the match today?
Oh, Chappers. I thought he had a really good game.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've look. There's times when you really have to. Sometimes you really do have to give these players a bit of a slating, because otherwise they're not going to learn nothing, are they? They do listen to the fans. Much as people don't say they don't, they do listen to the fans.
Very human, aren't they? Of course.
Yeah, of course they are human, and sometimes they deserve a bit of criticism for their performances. If they're not, no disrespect, but if you're in a workplace and someone who can do a job is not doing their job, you're going to give them a bit of a. You put on one side a bit of pep talk. Okay, if pep talk don't work, say, look, this ain't on. If you don't do your job, you're not going to play. And that's the problem with Chappers. He has been dropped. But look at him now. he's gone for a bit of a dry spell. I thought, not just his play today, not just his goals, but I thought his play today was really good. I thought Burns. I didn't think there was much wrong with the team today, the way with any of the players really. Like I said, I mean, look, if you knock out Jackson's first half performance, put him on, and if he could have done that first half, my God, we'd have probably scored more goals. We'd have probably maybe offered more shots on target, because there was about 15 minutes when neither team had a shot on target. It was like, oh my days. But the referee, oh my days, he was one.
Yeah, talk to me about that, because I'll get Curtis's thoughts on that one as well in just a second. Before I let you go, give me your thoughts on the referee, because you messaged me saying you weren't too happy with the performance.
Some of the refereeing decision is absolutely.
I thought it was all right.
No. Oh, God.
I thought he was a League One ref. I thought he made mistakes like we all do.
Oh no, but there's making mistakes, and I mean, look, when there's like 20,000 Ipswich fans, giving all ironic cheers when a referee gives a free kick, there's something wrong. Even as a referee myself, when I've had poor games sometimes, and that's just how it is. And I know I made a couple of errors, and I'll get a few ironic cheers from the players or from you've done something wrong, or you're not having a great game. Sometimes, but it's consistently poor with the referees in this level. Not just for us, for both, for our teams, but where the hell did 1.5 minutes of extra time come from?
Injuries, substitutions, they all get added on. And that's what we want, isn't it, as fans, though? Isn't that what we want as fans? But isn't that what you want as fans? You want the ball in play for the maximum amount of time. Like when you're winning, of course, you want Burgess to go down with cramp and take 4 hours and referee blow his whistle. But there are other teams, there are other fans. Isn't that overall what we want as football fans? That ball in play for the maximum amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, the FIFA directive for the World Cup is, we want the ball in play as much as possible. And hence why you're getting 10, 11, 12 minutes of extra time. Now, if that was the FA directive, then we'd all understand it. But right now, that's not the FA directive. And
are we told what they are, really? I don't know.
Well,
it could well be.
I mean, otherwise you could argue there'd be 12 minutes of extra time a day with with the way that
I mean, because in 2 weeks' time, Mike, Oxford will be down in the town, and I will want every single minute of that ball in play, because Oxford will go down, with cramp in the first 30 seconds. You just historically, anyway, speaking,
that's the thing, isn't it? If you look at, because obviously this World Cup has been a bit of an eye-opener for extra time, added on minutes and whatever, right? And obviously what's happening now is just fans asking, well, okay, why isn't this been brought into, like, domestic leagues, Why isn't this not in domestic leagues? And the fact of the matter is, as a referee, I think you're told for every substitution you just give 20 seconds. For every injury where a player, you got it. But the trouble is, it's kind of been left down to the referee, isn't it, to make them decisions.
Yes. Yeah, and as it should be, because he's the man in the middle. Mike, I'm going to have to move on because I'm going, 15 minutes already. But you look after yourself. Rest that voice.
3 points, mate. That's all we wanted today. We've got it. We've not had a great performance at home. Look, end of the day is brilliant, lads. Well done, and let's hope England win tonight. Yeah.
Good man. We love you. Appreciate it. Curtis, great question here from Rob Holmes. Sorry, not Rob Holmes, from Max Fax. Do apologize. Your question: during the World Cup, why haven't EFL sent Premier League rest to League One?
Time off. Give them time off. To be fair, the state of referee and the way it is from the Premier League straight down to League Two, the problem is with Premier League refs now, a lot of decisions that even they make on the pitch are getting took out of their hands. So it's hardly like they're more trusted to deal with these decisions than they are with League One and League Two refs. They've got VAR, goal line technology. We're just unlucky that our referees haven't got anything to help them. So I don't think it really matters your standard of refereeing. Unfortunately, this is just something that we've got to get used to. We've been here for so long now. Week after week after week, we know that the level of refereeing is poor. So just try. You've just got to work hard and try and do your best and work past these refs. Unfortunately, it's going to be something that doesn't change, and it'll be the exact same thing in the championships
it will.
So it's not as though getting promoted will change that. And then when we get to the Premier League, we'll then no doubt moan about how VAR is screwing us over.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
So there's numerous issues that we unfortunately will never get past on the officiating side. But
And that's football.
For me, it wasn't a good referee today for me. But again, you just got to work hard as a team and do what you can on the pitch to get the result. Which, to be fair to us today, we have done. We've got past the ref, and then therefore we don't have to worry about that now.
Absolutely. You mentioned in the pre-game show you expect your player of the match to be Conor Chaplin. I wrote down during the game, Conor Chaplin, man possessed. Moby has said Chappers looked like an angry wasp for much of the game. How did you see your player of the match candidate?
Exactly how I hoped he would perform. I think he needed today. He needed something like a rocket up his arse just to get him back firing, not against bloody Bracknell or Buxton. Like you need in the league is where your form matters. I mean, your cups are there for stat padding, but the league is your bread and butter. So today, I can imagine that feeling of expectation, that pressure that he must have felt mounting on top of him. I can imagine he is now feeling a lot better after that final whistle has gone. And to be fair, I'm so happy for him because he does work hard, and sometimes he works hard without any reward. But I'm hoping that today that's 2 goals, so he's back in form, should we say, and hopefully carries that on now for the lovely old winter period.
Absolutely. The second player, I said Kane Jackson would be man of the match, and Mike's not often right when it comes to KJ, but he was much better in the second half than in the first. I would agree with that. He looked a different player. I would agree with that. I do still circle back. This is not just a KJ issue. This is a striker issue at the football club. I don't know how many chances we create for that position. The number 10 gets a lot of chances.
Yep.
The actual striker, does he get an awful amount? I can't remember too many clear cuts. But you mentioned another player we'll be talking about at full time would be Humphreys. How did you see the young man's performance in the midfield today?
You know what? I thought to be fair, again, he's a young player that he's impressing me constantly. I think
great.
For a player with the mindset he has and the way, like, it's not to really kiss his arse or anything, but the mindset and the brain that he has for football at his age and coming into this team now in a game like today where I feel it'd have been freezing. Peterborough are an awkward team to play against, especially after they had a rocket up their arse from McAntony the other day. So to try and deal with this team that no doubt wanted to put on a performance, get a bit rough, get a bit niggly. I thought he played really well. I think he plays far beyond his age. I think he's so wise in how he plays. He doesn't even look at the ball when he passes it. I think he's so good to watch. But for me, and in the nicest way possible, don't get me wrong. I don't think he was spectacular today. I mean, I know I'm gushing with praise, but he's not spectacular. But I think he was average, but in such an amazing way, because there was really no reason to pinpoint him for any issues that possibly came up throughout the game. He was just a steady midfield player, and at his age, that's what I can expect. I don't expect him to be popping up with 2 or 3 assists. I don't expect him to hammer in a goal. He's playing so far beyond his years, and the way he's playing. We are very, very lucky that in amongst these injuries that we've had to this midfield squad, I think we are very lucky that he's popped up. Very lucky.
Absolutely. Dino, thank you very much for the DM. I will look into that as soon as I possibly can. And 2-1, you nailed it finally, Curtis. You nailed the scoreline. You said 2-1. You stole it off me, but you nailed it.
It was coming. I do wish I put a bet on now. And I wish I put a bet on for Chaplin as well.
Well, this is it. Before I bring Steve in and let you go, thoughts on England tonight? You're going to go. Is it an England win? Are you confident? You're nervous? Now Town out of the way. Where's your comfort level with England this evening?
I'm never comfortable watching England. I'm never comfortable in the same way as watching Town under Jewel back in the day. I'm never really comfortable watching us. I think with England, I watch with hope more than expectation, and I think tonight is going to be an extremely tough game. I think tonight it is. We win. I think this competition's ours, but I think it's going to be interesting, especially after watching a couple of games yesterday. It's going to be interesting. I really hope it's like them. I really hope
Score,
it's not
as you were right with the town. What score prediction?
I'm going to say 1-1 extra time. We win 2-1.
I would take that. I don't want extra time because that means later to bed. And on this keto diet, I am flipping knackered. Come about 9 o'clock at night, I just like zonk. Then I get to bed and I can't sleep a single wink. But anyway, I'll take that any day of the week. Right, Curtis, we love you. Appreciate it. Thanks for being with me this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll speak soon, no doubt. STST, top of the league. Plymouth are hopefully about to hit a blip. We can go a few points ahead. Mr. Stephen Parry, thank you for joining us. I've got a couple of players I've written down I want to talk about. But first of all, what are your thoughts following today's 2-1 home win?
Well, I'll be honest. I was watching that and I can see why Peterborough where they are. They offered nothing. All they had were set pieces. They were a threat at set pieces and that was it. If we didn't give them as many set pieces, they wouldn't have had half as many shots. You know, we were creative. We were lively. One person I want to give a big shout out to, I wouldn't say man of the match, but a real credit, was Aluko. First game back since August, and he played like a man possessed as well. He was breaking things up. He was putting little balls through. He was battling. I loved it. You know, and I'm not a big Aluko fan, but he was fantastic today. And he managed 70-odd minutes for his first game.
Tremendous,
I was thinking
really.
to myself, maybe a bench start, you know what I mean? But, you know, I thought he was superb today. But I really were not impressed with Peterborough. You know, everybody before the game was all gushing over Johnson Clark-Harris. He hardly saw the ball. I think he had the ball for a free kick and an header, and that was it. You know, well, if you can do that, and I've said this all along, if you can stop Clark-Harris, Peterborough lose. Because that's how they get the goal. That's the only place to get the goals from. They've no other threat at all. You know, he went back to his two up top, which was what they were calling for, which saw McCann bottle it overnight from going, I don't listen to people on social media, and then he lines up with the two up top.
He's under pressure. That's clear. I mean, McAnthony can say in the week he's not going to sack him, but you know, results like today will only add to that pressure. But do you feel they were bad, or do you feel actually, you know, the credit must go to Kieran McKenna and Ipswich Town, and we made them look even worse than perhaps they actually are, because they were poor. They weren't the posh we know or have seen of previous years, but we were professional, solid, disciplined, on the front foot. 89 minutes, we're pressing from the front. We're not sitting back. We're looking like a team that learned a few lessons from last week and beyond.
I think we've learned, but I think we could be better than that. We've been better than that.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think, you know, everyone's been saying, I remember last year Peterborough weren't in this league, so we didn't play them, so we couldn't gauge. Yeah. The year before, our team is light years away from where it has been since we last played them. So I'm looking at when we last played them and now, we are a massive step up from them. If we had this team then, I don't think they'd have won. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not really, you know, if that's all Johnson Clark-Harris offers, I think there's better out there. For the money they'll want for him, I think there's better out there. Based on what I've seen today.
That's one game, Steve, isn't it? That's one game.
Well, where are they in the league? They're dropping like a stone. You know, so he's not
turning
up. It doesn't matter. If you get 3 goals, yeah, in 4 games, you get 12 goals. But at 20 games, that doesn't win you many points. You know what I mean? That's what he does. He gets 2 and 3 in a game, so his tally goes up, but he doesn't do that every week. That's why they've been losing games, because he doesn't score every week. And he's not that much. He's seen today. It was a brilliant free kick, and I still think Walton tipped that over, but we'll take it. Look where we can get it.
What do you make of Mike?
Bigger threat. For the money they want, they'll want for him in January, yeah, I don't think he's that big a threat, especially one up top, because he's no better than Ladapo one up top.
Okay, all right. I'll let the live chat get involved with that comment. That's a great response there, Steve. Love that. You said real credit for Luco battling 70 minutes. Great stuff. Couple of players from the chat, not written down here, but a couple of players from the chat. First of all, Mike D. Walton looks shaky at the moment. What are your thoughts on that? Walton looking shaky at the moment. You agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What?
Really, I think he was sold a puck for the goal because we didn't close that ball down at all. You know, they had like 3 passes and no one even got out to him. You know, close it down, stop the ball coming in, put him under pressure, make him rush the shot, rush the pass. And then Burns was stood at the back post doing absolutely sod all. I think it was a foul on the keeper myself, but that was me. I just looked at it once. But Was he shaky? Not really. It was that point blank header, and that he stopped it, and that took a deflection. He did what he had to do when he needed to do it. He could have conceded more, but he didn't. So is that shaky? I don't know. His job's to stop the ball going in the net, and he did that a couple of times. So whether if they go in, then you can argue he's shaky, but they didn't go in, and we won. So when you win, you can't argue your goal is shaky.
He does strike me as a player that is maybe going through a little bit of a turbulence in form, not at the peak that he was a couple of weeks ago, but certainly not a liability in costing us games, etc. Just a player that's not quite at the peak of his powers.
Player, Chaplin went through that.
Absolutely, yeah. Form is temporary, class is permanent, as they say.
If any player goes through a season where they're bang on form every season, even Haaland does that. He's quiet sometimes. Yeah. At the end of the day, for me, Walton's biggest plus is he relieves pressure. And there were some balls coming in that he just jumped up, picked up, relieved the pressure, and everybody calmed down. We haven't had that for a long time. We didn't have it at Hawley. We didn't have it at Harke. But he does that. He comes out and he'll claim the ball from a cross or a corner, and everybody just calms down. That is vital. And I think he offers more, even now, when people might say he's a bit shaky. He's conceding goals, but at the end of the day, the goal wasn't his fault. The player effectively ran into him and it hit his head and it went in. You could argue if that ball was closed down at source, he wouldn't have even been troubled.
Hubs here says Burns a great going forward, but liability coming back. Too many
unnecessary flicks. He got the player got behind Burns, and Burns.
It was poor defending. That is his weakest part, though, isn't it? His game.
Yeah, I think we need a bigger man on the back post. Yeah, for the long balls. Burns is he's not the biggest, and he's not the best defender. I don't know. There must be someone, a Ladapo, someone with a bit more height and a bit more physique on the back post that you can stick on there for those, specifically those long balls to the back post, because we've been very weak at that. Normally we'd see Lee do that from the other side. When he's on, he'll be at the back post clearing the ball.
True.
Well, on the right-hand side, especially when Dinassian goes off, we don't really have anyone that side on that of a decent stature on the right hand side. But that's if we want to pick holes in it. I look at it as it was a game that a lot of people were worried about. It was a game coming after Cheltenham, Fleetwood, where a lot of people were frantic about, thinking, oh well, we bottled it. I argue that, but and we got 3 points.
Yep, we did.
At the end
Absolutely.
Of it, the whole point of the game is to win the game. How you win the game. Like I said, Mike's got a big point about, we should be hammering a team. Well, I don't care whether we win 1-0, 2-0 or 3-1. As long as we win,
Which is what we spoke about on Discord or somewhere. It's, style
for scoring 6 goals.
Absolutely. Style is great. You're right. Absolutely right, Steve. Sorry to cut across you. Style is great.
Same as last week. Same as last week. I know we drew, but we were still the better side. Same as Fleetwood. We were still the better side. And if you're the better side, I think last week we weren't as good, but against Fleetwood, when we lost, we were still the better side. And 9 out of 10 times, if you're the better side, but 9 times out of 10, that's going to happen.
We seem to fall very short of that 9 times out of 10.
I saw Liverpool play Burnley. I saw Liverpool play Burnley. Burnley had 1 shot, they won. It happens. 9 times out of 10, when you're the better side, when your performance is better than theirs, you will win. Yeah,
sure.
You're going to get the odd fluky result like last week, but there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to put your hands up in the air and say, well, they got the luck on the day and we didn't, and move on. And now we've bounced back, and we've proved now time and time again that we've got bounce back ability. We have a bad result, we bounce back with 3 points. Now we need to see what the others are capable of. Plymouth had a bad result at home. They've never lost at home. How do they feel after that? I think
they're about to kick off, so time will tell. Before we round up, I can't put off Tesco any longer, sadly. I hear those boop-boops calling me. I want your player of the match, please, Mr. Parry.
Well, I'm not going out today because it snowed this month today, so we've got like 2 inches of snow outside, so I'm not going out today. But my man of the match, I'll have to give it to Chaplin for the goals, and he needed that. But cool. For me, Aluko's a very close second. just because of it was a good performance in his first game back.
Okay. All right. We'll take it. Stephen, thank you for joining us. Have enjoyed the rest of
Yes,
your day. Wrap up warm. There we go. Town have beaten Peterborough 2-1 at home to go top of the table. Plymouth and Wednesday are just kicking off in their respective games. We're back live tomorrow, 1:30. We're talking Town, myself, Matt Phillips, possibly Richard Moss as well, depending on various different things. But we're definitely live 1:30 tomorrow. England obviously up next this evening. No Matchday ticket this evening. So enjoy the game. Enjoy your evening. Hit the like button. Become a Talking Town 5th fan today by going to Kofi or hitting the join button on YouTube. But all that's left for me to say is Conor Chaplin, baby. Whoa.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.